We legitimately don't know what China is doing on the other side of the moon.
No, we don't. Unless we have a constellation of satellites flying around the moon that can see and understand what's going on, we're blind.
I'm getting real upset.
So the twist there
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all, we're back on this beautiful Friday with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day and a good evening here, chilling with me, Segovia, in the man cave, y'all. But I ain't gonna do too much talking, y'all. I always say that I ain't gonna talk too much during the video, but there's so much topics on here, y'all. I like to get into them and give you my point of view. Like, I feel like, do most TikTok reactors not talk? Because to me, when I talk, I'm giving you guys love. Like, it's because I care about you guys. Like, to me, if I didn't talk, I'd be like, you know, I don't care about you guys. I'm just here to do a video and get the hell out of here. Like, I talk with you guys because I rock with you guys. And some of you guys don't like it, but most of you guys love it. But enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
That makes sense. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Now, what they ain't tell us too, 4 jurors went missing this morning.
Did you get fired for making fun of Puffy?
Yeah, by Hot 97. I had to fight a lawsuit. You know what it all came down to? They
came down to gay rappers. That's what it was.
Gay rappers and exposing.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Wendy, and she was on the radio talking all this way back in the days. I've been telling you things for years, but you don't want to hear. So, all right, fine. And I don't understand parents who unleash their kids. Oh, it's just a deeply moving story to me because I know all of the story.
She knows. She knows. And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
I pissed a lot of people off, including you. Mm-hmm. But this is a full circle moment, everybody.
Yes.
Get into adult conversation.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I haven't seen you in over 15 years, but I'm not seeing wrinkles. I'm seeing good. I don't, you live a really hectic lifestyle. And I don't understand all the running around. And who are these people that you surround yourself with? And who are these people? Do they violate you? Do you get robbed? What happens? Now, you threw a house party, and I got the footage. Okay. Look at this. Now, who has this many people at their house? Puff, and or Sean, Diddy, Doody, what do I call you?
I think you should call me Puff. You always call me Puff.
I do.
Yes.
Okay. First hurdle jumped. Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous to come out here.
I know.
Just pay attention to how he makes an entire room of grown men terrified.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday. It's fabulous. The only that got the name that I want. You ain't get happy birthday to you. Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag?
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and
here.
scraping.
No, I got
I
no
like that. Make a
That
wish.
one.
Just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
And now this is when he pressures one of the guys to join a freak off.
You miss me though, for real, because it seems like a thing.
I miss
his birthday party,
man.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? Eyes, brother.
Oh,
eyes.
Fab told me to floor you fit. Fab walked in.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said let me pick it up.
We was talking to the floor.
The contract Jackson died, and as his doctor, Conrad Murray, heads into court to face manslaughter charges, the controversy surrounding his death still rages on. Michael's sister, LaToya, claims that Dr. Murray was just the fall guy in her new book, Starting Over, and she's here to tell us why. She says there was a conspiracy to murder her brother. Please welcome...
Why do you think Michael was concerned about this? What were they after?
Well, first, he said, it's my publishing. They're after my publishing. They want to take it. As you guys know, my brother had one of the largest catalogs in the world, meaning music-wise.
The Beatles collection was one of them.
He owned the Beatles, yes. Yeah. There's an elevator music that you hear, just everything, basically.
Can you say who it was?
No, I cannot say, because there were other people at the house as well. Because I prefer not to at the moment, but I will say this. I would love to have a one-on-one with several people. One person I would love to have. Safe? I would love to have a one-on-one with probably.
I mean, I don't know if you say that.
One person I would love to have.
safe?
I would love to have a one-on-one with probably.
I mean, I don't know if that
See, it's either one of two things. All right. Either Whoopi was looking out for her. Like, don't say that. I know what you're going to say. We know what happens when you say that name. Don't say it. Either that or Whoopi's covering up for that dude, for the club, right? We ain't exposing that here. We ain't doing that. I'm in that club. You ain't saying that. It's either one of those two things. What do you guys think it is? What do you guys think? Do you think Whoopi was looking out for, is that Latoya Jackson? You know, I'm trying to save her ass. Like, she ain't as wise as I am in this game. I've been here for, 50 years? You know, I'm looking out for her. Or I'm looking out for my club's best interests. What do you guys think? I don't know.
Because you think that you could instinctively.
Latoya, thank you so much for coming by. We want to thank Latoya Jackson.
Hey, yo!
Hey, yo.
See, this is why they love Pedro Pascal in Hollywood. This video right here shows you exactly
What the
why
hell? That's Joel?
Hollywood is casting Pedro Pascal in just about every role. This video right here, ladies and gentlemen, is why you're seeing Pedro Pascal in every HBO show, why you're seeing Pedro Pascal in every Disney movie. I mean, this guy literally is in everything right now. He is in Star Wars and Disney Star Wars. He is in Marvel. He's going to be Reed Richards. He's going to be a very soft Reed Richards. He's going to be in the back making sandwiches. He's probably, he's probably the woman in the relationship. Let's face it. He is in The Last of Us. At least he used to be. This guy is in everything. And this video right here shows you exactly why Hollywood loves this guy. Because this guy, I'm telling you, when it comes to playing ball,
Playing ball.
Pedro Pascal here, I don't think he says no to anything. Literally anything.
That's a damn shame, y'all.
So now they.
So those clips right there were just a glimpse into Hollywood, y'all. A glimpse into Hollywood. People knowing things and not exposing it. We got Diddy. They all knew that, right? Wendy Williams. That's why she got kicked off the radio. Probably apologized, got him back. Pascal, he's in everything. Look what he's doing. I mean, The Last of Us has a lot of LGBT stuff in it now. And the last episode just sucked, y'all. I was like, I'm going to finish the season, but it just wasn't even good. And then we see Britney Spears. Like, that's what happens in Hollywood, y'all. Like, that was the beginning of this video was just a glimpse into Hollywood. Now let's get into the news.
To believe that a plane just crashed in San Diego into a military housing neighborhood. The plane strikes about 15 different houses, causing houses and cars to catch on fire. A small plane that can only hold up to 8 people caused this much destruction to a neighborhood. They're also saying that this plane was a Cessna C550 made in 1985. Now, there's a guy that lives in the area of the alleged crash site, and he's saying that he woke up to a loud boom, and then he went outside to investigate, and he saw all the cars on fire, but he said that he didn't see a plane. A Marine Corps mechanic, by the way. He did not see any plane wreckage, and that he was not evacuated. It just seems a little hard to believe that a small plane is doing this much damage.
Yeah.
So they apparently stopped in Wichita, Kansas to refuel, and they were going to San Diego.
That's fishy,
This is
y'all.
the worst of it right here. If this did happen, then that had to be right where the plane hit.
Y'all will never guess the plane details for the plane that crashed in the biggest military complex or military housing that I believe we have in the U.S. This right here was allegedly the plane that went down. It was a Cessna 550. Look. At the call sign N666DS. You know, I tend to stay away from everything that has 666 on it. But I also know, as do certain cults, that numbers actually speak for themselves, and numbers are in conjunction with energetic wave patterns. An allegation, but just to give you some details on the people who are in the military housing, this AI bot on Twitter says that several naval intelligence specialists working on classified Nemesis electronic warfare program. And it was also confirmed and reported that there was fog at the time the jet went down. Nothing concrete, but I am pretty sure that was the exact plane that I showed you that went down. Just providing y'all with information. Nothing
How is
more,
that truck in the
nothing
yard
less.
like that?
The plane that crashed.
I don't know, y'all. That looks fishy to me. I haven't really looked into this. My first time really seeing it and hearing about it. We're doing chit chatting, y'all. That's what I do over here. This is my damn channel. I'm gonna do what I want. You know what I'm saying? I like to chit chat. I rock with y'all. But that looks a little fishy, y'all. Like they could be not telling us something like a big time terrorist that crossed over from Tijuana, because that's San Diego, that was planning to put that somewhere in San Diego, malfunctioned, blew up the neighborhood. But it was a plane crash. But there's no plane debris. Trucks, cars are moved like 20, 30 feet. That truck was like in the front porch. Cars were blown up like for the whole block. Like, how does that happen, y'all? That's suspicious to me. I'm not even trying to gaslight you guys. That's suspicious to me.
In San Diego, killed a talent group, and the co-founder is Dave Shapiro. The question we need to be asking is why all these planes are crashing.
That wasn't no damn plane. That was someone from Tijuana that came through.
People who's operating and fixing these planes don't know what they're doing anymore, and they just don't care. Are we under attack? Are the mechanics outdated, and these planes or these parts are not built for these planes to last long? To go in an airplane right now in today's world, you might as well fear for your life. Because every time you turn around, people are dying in them. Like, what the hell? Not to mention, someone wants to put a dome over America. Is there something happening that we don't know? That we should know, but he's afraid to tell us? Because a lot of people are dying. People that are popular, people that are well known. Streamers, content creators, musicians. These are not the first musicians to die recently in a plane crash. We are experiencing hell on earth, and it's due to the signs of the time that we are in. And this is not being talked about enough because everybody's trying to distract themselves away from the real truth. And because of that, a lot of people will lose their lives.
You want to hear about a dinosaur?
I would love to.
Please? I found something from the World War II era, dinosaurs that were actually found in Africa, and it was reported on by British soldiers who were stationed in Zambia. It's called the Kongamata. The name translates to overturner of boats. Literally, to them, there's this mysterious creature that plagues them while they're fishing. It's known for having a beak, teeth, and large red featherless wings. And so they set up a hospital, and then someone comes into the hospital, and he is tore up, saying Kongamata. And when they're asking what happened, he begins giving these descriptions, and they have a book on them, and they flip through, and he stops, and it's depictions of dinosaurs. And he's like, that's it, that's the thing. And it's literally a pterodactyl like that. But what's crazy is that, you know, this is a medical office, these are British soldiers, and the report that was written, they're like, we saw the fear in his eyes. This isn't somebody telling us a ghost story. This was someone who was injured and came into our camp and was like, help me, I just got attacked by a Kongamata. And when he pointed out the picture with no pre-knowledge of like dinosaur books and stuff like that, he was like, that's what got me. That's what we have. It appeared in several 1940s and 1950s military and scientific reports.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's fun.
These critters are real.
Yeah, I mean, how could they not be?
What kind of fucking animal can lay 2.6 million eggs and then be around a volcano, an underwater volcano? 2.6 million eggs. And they ain't small eggs at that either. What the hell could that be? Drop a comment if you think you got an idea of what it might be. But scientists have found 2.6 million eggs around this underwater volcano. What the hell's inside these eggs? That's a lot.
To show you one of the most terrifying photographs you've ever. So if you're easily frightened, do not.
This just proves you never even are truly safe in your own home. What the lady in this video is talking about happens to quite a lot of people, but a lot of other people didn't know it was a thing. The phenomenon known as frogging, and no, I'm not talking about frogs. Frogging, instead, is when someone lives inside of your house, but you don't realise they're there. Now, you might be thinking that's just a squatter, but squatters typically go to abandoned buildings to stay there, whereas froggers will sneak into habited houses and basically stay there and use the house. In this lady's video, she was essentially saying the person she knew found this man literally in the house staring at them one night. And there has been a lot of reports of people finding not their family in the house on security cameras, or hearing banging from the attic or the basement. Or you ever gone to your fridge and thought, well, I put something in there but it's not there anymore. You might have a frogger. Most commonly what these people do will sneak in when there's a window open or something, and they could stay there for months, years. Using the house as a safe space, they might find an area which they want to stay in, raiding the fridge and the cupboards to eat, and then going down when you're not there. It is a very scary thing, and it does genuinely happen, so just be careful.
America, I cannot get my head around how big this country is. My childhood friend, Dan, has moved to New York, Long Beach. We were chatting the other morning. I was like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. He was like, no, it's not. It's 9 o'clock. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, there's a 3-hour time difference from San Diego to New York. How can a country, the same country, have time differences? It's that big. He was telling me that from San Diego to New York is a 7-hour flight. That's the same as going from New York back to London. This country is, like, I can't fathom how big it is. It's so massive. So much to explore. Let's get after it. Let me put it this way. Since we've been in America, we've been here for 6 days. We've done 850 miles in the car. The length of the UK is only 362 miles. Just think about that. My God.
Living in America is so expensive that it's not even living anymore. It's just a recurring subscription. You pay to live, you pay to work, you pay to eat, you pay to sleep. Rent, more than half your income. Groceries, doubled within a year. Gas, insurance, bills, taxes. Damn near make money just to give it away. You're not living the dream. You're financing your own exhaustion. And their solution is budget better. Like you're out here buying Ferraris and filet mignon every single day. When in all reality, you're broke just buying basic needs. And here's the kicker. You do everything right. You go to school, you get the job, you play by the rules, and you're still barely hanging on. It's not your fault. The system was built by design. They want you broke, distracted, and grateful for crumbs, because a stressed, tired population doesn't rebel, it complies.
How much money does a doctor make? So people come out of medical school with a debt of around $500,000. My debt was around $300,000 because college was free. I had a pretty strong scholarship, so I just had to pay for like living expenses. Once you come out, you start working in residency, which is around $45,000 to $60,000 a year. But if you calculate per hour, you make $8 an hour. And then once you come out, there's a lot of variability in how much you can earn. Being a primary care doctor, the earning is somewhere in the $200,000 to $300,000 per year.
Have you ever met anyone whose TikTok account was hacked?
No, banned, but not hacked.
Yeah, never hacked. That's because all of their data is secured at Oracle and Project Texas. They spent like $2.8 billion to put it there. And they did that because Trump said he was going to ban it if they didn't protect their data. So they did it. They responded. They did it. People are calling him a flip-flopper on this, but he's not a flip-flopper. They just did what he asked.
Yeah.
But they secured the data. And when they did that, they said, yeah, go pass a data security bill because we've already done it. Meta and Google, they lobbied against the data privacy and protection bill, and they paid for the TikTok ban.
This 19-year-old kid made it sound so simple when he's like, dude, I make $20,000 a month easily. And I'm like, bullshit, man. And then I said, you know what, instead of hating on him or being negative, why don't I listen to what this dude's saying and see if I can actually do it? So I started doing it. And lo and behold, he was right. It is very simple. You just have to be consistent. You have to make sure that you're doing the same shit that you don't want to do every single day, regardless of how much you hate it. And these are the types of results that you will get. This is what I made in a month. Now, I don't know how much that is per hour, per day, per year, but either way, what a blessing it is when you get out of your own damn way and start putting in the work. You guys, stop overcomplicating shit and just get out there, pick your phone up, start making content, and go do it.
You're allowed to deduct interest payments for purposes of income tax, but only if the car is made in America. So if the car is made in America, you get a loan, you can deduct the interest. That's a big saving.
What is going on in the skies over El Paso, Texas? It seems like every day there's a brand new sighting of something that doesn't belong in the nighttime sky. A woman and her son were out in their backyard when they heard something flying over that did not sound or look like a plane. She took her phone and quickly recorded. Take a look at this video. Look at this.
What the fuck? Look at that. Holy shit.
Oh, damn.
What is that? What is this? Watch.
Mom. Shh. Dude, what the fuck was that?
Excuse the language, but I don't blame them. What the heck was that? It seems like every day we're starting to see different unidentified flying objects over major cities in the US and around the world. What are your thoughts on what the heck that was? Let me know in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Let's watch a old world video.
Okay, you guys, are we in ancient Rome, or is this a high school in El Paso, Texas? As unbelievable as it sounds, this is El Paso High School. Very Romanesque. And of course, there's no construction photos. This is what we got. It was one of the first things here in El Paso. They say they built this high school for $500,000, right around $10 million in today's money. And the last graduating class in El Paso before this enormous high school went up was 2 students. They had 2 high school degrees, and they were like, we need a lot more. Let's build a Roman castle real quick. I'm hoping it's becoming obvious to everyone just how fake our history is.
Can you really, in any possible way, justify a history that says they built that thing to be a high school in El Paso, Texas? And when you see that old picture, that thing is so out of place there in that timeline that makes no sense of that being there. And yet they want us to believe they built that for teenagers.
What do you think would happen if enough people realized our history, that it's just been a complete, utter fabrication? Like, what if there was enough uprising about that? I wonder.
Yeah, if you think about the news being fake, why would you ever believe history that's 100 years old, 200 years old, 1,000 years old?
What do you do? And the thing about that high school, I don't know if it's the country. I want to say it's the country or the state of Texas. It's the most haunted school, either in the country or Texas. A lot of TV shows, ghost hunters, things like that go there. I looked it up. I think it was a janitor or a student in there, right? Offed herself. And that's supposedly what haunts the halls over there.
I'm a medical assistant at an urgent care.
What do you make?
So I make $28.
Okay, not bad. What hits your account from that job on a monthly basis?
About $1,400 a paycheck.
Bi-weekly?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So we're walking away with about $33,600 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Australia have all the weird animals? Australia has all the weird animals because they evolved independently from the rest of the fucking world. Australia and Antarctica were a landmass that broke off together from Pangea before placentals replaced marsupials, which is also why Australia doesn't have any native monkeys, but they have fuck tons of marsupials. Just saying.
Disneyland, the Disney resorts, they released a $10 million ticket.
What?
Have you seen this?
No, not at all.
I'm
immediately pissed off.
There's a ticket available for $10 million. And these are the perks of it.
Yeah, please.
And you can tell me if you think it's worth it or not.
Okay.
You and 3 guests can go to any park any day for free. Right? Is that a good...
It's not for free. It's for $10 million.
Let's start there. It's $10 million. So don't you dare say for free. You don't think that's a cool perk? Absolute. Off the bat, $10 million. I want ownership. I want a part of Epcot to say Kennedy Man. You can't own a ride. Kennedy's Pretzel Hut. That should be the first thing. We're gonna name something after your family, and we're gonna keep it a namesake. Okay. 10 M's. 10 M's. You get you and 3. That's 4 people at any day. We go right now to Disney. Forever? Yes. For the rest of your life. Okay, go. You can stay at any hotel on the resort as long as there's availability. Yeah, as long as it's not booked up from all the other millions of people that want to go. Even though you have a $10 million ticket, we're not going to boot Sally and John to the curb for you.
Are you all aware of all the things that just happened in the last 12 hours? We will come right back to this plane crash that was in a military homes area. Okay, so follow me on this. And TikTok, I'm just saying what the news said. This is all alleged. So while everyone was sleeping last night, there was what they call a terrorist attack that happened with 2 Jewish individuals that were part of the embassy. And the culprit, they're saying the alleged culprit was yelling, "Free a certain place." And keep in mind, all the headlines right before this stuff happened was that this place was preparing to strike this place fast. And even that second place getting along with this place a whole bunch now. As well as a bunch of radio jamming around Qatar. Now, just hours after the attack on the embassy members, there was a shooting at this 3-letter agency saying that this lady did not stop at the main gate, so they closed the gate down completely. The organization put up a tweet saying that their main gate was closed, but they didn't address why, but then other places addressed the reason that there was a shooting, because the lady didn't stop at the main gate. Now, just hours after that, there is a private business jet that went down in a military family complex, unaliving many people. We can just add that to the list of all the other planes. What are the odds that all this stuff happens exactly the way it did? I'm not going to say my opinion, but let me know what you think.
This is the reality of showing condos in our current market. Absolutely insane. Took me about 15 minutes after having to call the agents to figure out which lock boxes were theirs. Absolutely insane.
Eating a banana and putting a banana in a blender is 2 different things. I did not know that. One day I was making one of those paleo type protein, and I said, let me put a banana in this motherfucker just to see it. I'm like, damn, this is delicious. I'm on to something. I gained weight that week.
From the banana?
When you blend a banana, it's 8 points.
What?
When you eat a banana, it's guts.
NASA is warning of solar flares that are so big that they could cause blackouts on Earth. Before you say we've heard it all before, radiation from a flare last week already disrupted radio signals for 10 minutes in the Middle East. So the sun is currently at the peak of its 11-year cycle, and as it rotates, its most active region is turning to face Earth, which is leading to warnings of these huge bursts of electromagnetic radiation known as solar flares or solar storms in the next few days and weeks. According to NASA, they could impact radio communications, electric power grids, navigation signals, and pose risks to astronauts and spacecraft. With the sun about 93 million miles from Earth, isn't that just wild to comprehend?
Is it?
Kids will go into ChatGPT and they'll be like, write a summary of this chapter, and then
I know
it'll
you'll
write it.
write
And then
like
they'll
it.
copy and paste and they'll be like, write this in the wording of an average 7th grade
Wait, the
student.
kids can change it to say right.
You can have ChatGPT write in like the vernacular of a 7th grader. But
Yeah.
for any teacher out there, if you do 0 ChatGPT,
Mhm.
you can copy and paste anything into that, and it knows the patterns of AI. It uses AI
douchebag.
to track the
You
patterns
douchebag.
of AI.
Zero
ChatGPT. You can copy and paste anything, plug it there. It'll tell you exactly the percent of text that is AI written and human generated.
What?
Because they know the
Shameless
algorithm.
plug.
They know the algorithm that's used on ChatGPT to create documents.
Not AI didn't create it, something to combat AI.
Yeah, it's civil war for AI.
This is too much.
It's
Okay.
awesome.
This
It's
is
fantastic.
too much. That was conviction.
I use it on. I use it on finals. I use it on classwork. I use it on
Tyler,
everything.
you are like a wealth of information.
100%. That's what I do.
An egg-shaped object
Okay.
that is a UFO craft. He says that they caught on tape various UFOs by using this exact method. the psionic ability method. So they're claiming that they got these all on video using this stuff they laid out in this white paper on how to attract these things. Have you guys heard of the jellyfish looking one?
I'm curious to.
The jellyfish looking one they're saying is not even a spacecraft. It's an actual alien entity that is able to fly. So the actual organism itself is floating and flying in the air. That's the actual jellyfish one. It's floating over, I think,
Remember, we
Iraq.
thought that might have been a smudge on the lens.
Yeah,
though?
I do remember this.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
much
right.
better
smudge.
Hey, Dwayne, is electric vehicle maintenance actually easier?
There really is no maintenance. There's wiper blades, tires, brakes every now and then, but no maintenance on electric vehicles. So
my rule is if I stand up to order my food and I have to get it, there's probably not a very big tip in it for you. If you bring me my food, you take my order, absolutely going to give you a tip. If I'm driving through, there's no tip. You're doing your job. I came here to order a thing from you. You came here to sell a thing to me. That's great. That's the whole transaction. There is no extra transaction required. If somebody's doing service for you, you get a haircut, come clean out, that's all fine. Tip all those people. Tip your service providers where that's the norm. But the idea that I go buy a product and you hand me the product from the shelf across the counter and then I'm supposed to give you a tip, that's insane to me. I have the same opinion everybody else has on tip culture. It's out of control.
Diddy up there wilding. Yeah. He finna let people know he was hitting this baby mama. You see it's coming out. Because, you know, Cassie and her was best friends. So when a playing like the way Diddy playing, this is real shit. My woman right there. You think if Diddy told Cassie, make that happen with Laura, it wasn't gonna happen?
We all know one thing Whack 100 know how to do is how to stir shit up. Now, I don't know. I can't really go for Diddy was smashing Lauren London. But if it come out that he was, bruh, that they had a real fling, oh, man, bruh, that's going to turn the internet up, bruh.
No, it's
That's
not.
going to turn the internet up. That's
No, it's
crazy.
not.
But then again,
Don't
you
nobody
can
care.
never put nothing past this dude Diddy, bruh. That dude was all in all type of weird ass shit, but if he was born in Lauren London, though, damn, that'd be crazy.
Like, these celebrities, they get around with each other, right? I mean, Lauren London wasn't with Nipsey Hussle forever. She's got a baby by Lil Wayne, right? They get around the industry. I don't know why. Well, we know why. They stay in the industry because everyone knows everyone's secrets, right? She can't come be with a normal dude like me and I go to the party and see all that stuff. I ain't gonna be cool with them. I'm gonna be like, what the hell? Like, but the people in the circles to get to that level, that's what you got to do. So I wouldn't be surprised if she slept with him. I mean, look at that picture. During that picture, she wasn't with Nipsey Hussle. Like, she was just running around the industry trying to get a movie role, right?
This is how I know we're ChatGPT right now. You can take a picture of anywhere, send it into ChatGPT, and it will tell you exactly where it was taken. They did it in the randomest alleys, and it will give you this looks like this type of area. So they did it with speed. Not only did it give another image what it looks like, it says this is likely at this place. Oh no. Analyzing everything in the pictures and then showing exactly from a bird's eye view where that picture was taken. What the crazy, bro. Because stalkers can just deadass take your Instagram pic, throw it into ChatGPT, and they might be able to find you.
What did you see first in this image? What caught your eye right away? This is a psychological.
Now, what did you guys see? I saw a waterfall, but shaped as a bear, right? I didn't just see a bear. I saw a waterfall, but a bear. What did you guys see?
Test an optical illusion that reveals how easily you open up to others. If the waterfall was the first thing you noticed, it means you open up easily and make new connections quickly. You see yourself as an open person, and your lightness and simplicity attract others. You're also a great listener and give genuinely helpful advice. The only downside is that people might see you as too positive, to the point where they think you have no problems at all. That's because when others come to you with their issues, you're always there to listen and help. But when it comes to your own problems, you prefer to handle them alone. While you take pride in your independence, deep down, you wish you had someone to lean on and share your struggles with.
Mariana.
If you saw a bear or panda first, you're the opposite of the previous description. You may appear sweet and friendly on the outside, but you don't easily let people into your heart. It usually takes you a long time to trust someone, and
What if
you
we
have
saw
a hard
both?
time letting go of past hurts. This is often rooted in a traumatic experience. Maybe you were betrayed or deceived before, and now you keep your distance. But that's not a bad thing. In fact, it shows you've learned from your past and are cautious not to repeat the same mistakes, unlike some people who keep stepping on the same rake.
Was watching this video the other day where this gentleman was talking about farm-raised salmon being one of the most toxic things that you can consume. If you think about salmon is just immediately associated with health. This guy takes the salmon and he opens it up and he's like, look at how easily these bones separate from the flesh, and the color of the flesh is very different, which is one of the reasons why they have to use dye. When you see a farm-raised salmon and it's a dark red color, a lot of times what you're getting is people putting food coloring on the salmon itself in order to make it that color.
The thing I think the world is not ready for, like people have maybe abstractly thought like, okay, it's going to be a better programmer than me. It's going to be, you know, better at customer support and whatever. I don't think the world has really had the humanoid robots moment yet. And I don't think that's very far away from like a visceral, like, oh man, this is going to do a lot of things that people used to do. So yeah, it's coming. And we have always tried to just be super honest about what we think the impact may be, realizing that we'll be wrong on a lot of details.
What happens when the humanoid robots get here?
I mean, they'll obviously do a lot of jobs, but the point I was trying to make is I think like the first day you're like walking down the street and there's like 7 robots that walk past you doing things or whatever, it's gonna feel very sci-fi.
Oh, did I ever tell you, there's this really, really famous person in LA who did Ozempic for like 2 years straight, and the person's losing eyesight. Yeah, like they're going blind and shit.
Nothing, and I mean nothing, is real anymore. Everything real will be fake, and everything fake will be real. That's what I was saying 3 years ago when AI was getting crazy. This right here is not real. This is Google VO.
One move with AI that makes haters go crazy every time.
Oh, y'all gotta give them that. This is wild. It's over. We are cooked on that thread. You get me?
Every video I'm showing you in this video is all going to be artificial intelligence. But think about everything that's happened these last 2 years. Everything they released to the public, they are decades farther than that. So if they are releasing this now, they must have had this technology for a very long time now. The streamers leading the youth to pollution, are half of them even real? And what about the holographic technology that can show stuff like this right in front of us and it looks real as well? These artificial generations are so good they could literally fool any person on the earth right now. Don't forget, most of life in 2025 happens on the phone and not in real life. There's only one reason things like this would be allowed. I'm not going to tell you what that is, so I'm sure you can figure it out.
Oh, 2026 might not be our glory year after all, because standing airline seats might be dropping next year. It's reported that several low-cost airlines across Europe are considering swapping out some economy class seats for these new prototypes known as the Skyrider 2.0. Passengers would sit at a 45-degree angle with shame and are positioned upright so the airline can fit more seats closer together. By doing this, it could increase passenger capacity by 20%. They're 50% lighter, so that'll cut down on fuel costs, and they have less components, meaning they'll cut down the price of maintenance too. Now, the PR version as to why they would do this to us is that all of this saving on money would allow them to charge you less for your ticket. So keep that in mind when you hobble off that plane and your cheeks feel like they've just been to a Diddy party. You'll be happy to hear, though, that these seats do actually adhere to global safety regulations and will be confined only to specific flights, most likely ones that are less than 2 hours. But if you look at a seat and have to question whether it's legal, it probably shouldn't be. The question is, would you be willing to endure the discomfort for the promise of a better price or not?
We legitimately don't know what China is doing on the other side of the moon.
No, we don't. Unless we have a constellation of satellites flying around the moon that can see and understand what's going on, we're blind.
I'm getting real upset.
So the twist there is China is there on the moon, on the far side of the moon. We don't know what they're doing because we don't have infrastructure up there to even see what's going on. But we do know they're mining helium-3. If America does not change our strategy and how we're investing in space, we will become victims to others that use space as a way of dominating the energy market, but also the information market. It's back to Sun Tzu and the art of war. Know thy enemy, know thyself. And if you are deceived in your own arrogance and your own dominance of the past, eventually you're going to be a dead man.
Women are answering the door in their bra and underwear.
Your husband is not lying. This is 1,000% true. 30 years in the furniture delivery business. And back in the day, especially in South Florida, you'd call every customer, I'm on my way, ma'am. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Knock, knock, knock. They'd open the door in their lingerie, half naked, and say, oh, I didn't know you were coming. I don't think so.
Play the clip I just sent you.
Did you see him shifting in his chair?
Well, you have to see this because the guy, the first clip that he played is this guy.
What you doing?
Julius Malema.
Hey.
Okay. Watch what he's saying here. And look how many people are in the crowd.
Sweetheart of a guy.
Watch. 10% of the voters support him. Give or take.
To kill Amazon. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor.
Kill the
The
poor.
farmer.
Kill them is what he's saying.
Did you hear that? Watch what he said. Kill the farmer, kill the poor. Brrr, pa, brrr, pa.
Shoot to kill.
So now,
Distilled water to cook with, not to drink. Because distilled water has a pH of 7. It will rob you of your minerals. To drink the water, the grace is good. Perrier is good. Anything that is done by Mother Nature. If the alkalinity is being obtained through a process of osmosis, it's no good. It will injure you because they have done it mechanically. You want nature to do it.
Music came up in the
The
demonic.
devil was one of the chief culprits of that.
What?
Satan himself. And you mentioned, see, even Muslims use the word Satan. It comes from the word shaitan.
All right, we're gonna come back to Aleister Crowley. What do you mean the devil created music? I love
He
music,
brought music on the earth.
but it's a beautiful thing.
It doesn't mean it's all bad either, but I got to explain to you. So this is what I was trying to get to an hour ago, and we keep going off tangents. I hope the audience can keep up. And
I hope they can too.
hope
But
they don't.
you're like a freight train, bro.
It's
Gotta
just-
let you roll.
There's so many moving pieces to this.
I
It's
know.
a very broad topic with a lot of very important things.
Yep.
To kind of gather it all back in. When God created Adam, before he even created him, the devil, Satan as he's known, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, the enemy of humanity. Okay? This species lived on Earth long before humanity. Okay? Before the first human being ever existed, before ancient Sumeria, before any of this stuff, Billy, Carson, God had other creations on this earth. But now what's interesting to me is that from the from the Abrahamic perspective, it's like, why was it always the earth being used as like this kind of like testing ground? There's so many other planets, right? Why, for some reason, he created that species? They were on here before us, long before us. The demonic realm. Now remember, English does not serve the description of what these beings are. It doesn't translate well into English. Because we think demon, they're only evil. That's it. Christianity tries to make up for describing them by saying, no, they're not all evil, they're fallen angels, but that's inaccurate. And I'll tell you why I think it's inaccurate.
Remember we talked about demons possessing AI?
Yes.
Have you heard this new thing happening? It's the freakiest thing ever.
What?
ChatGPT users are developing bizarre delusions. Listen to this. So one man claimed AI helped him, quote, recover childhood memories that experts say never happened. Another began to worship ChatGPT, believing it was a divine messenger. A viral Reddit user declared themselves a spiral star child, convinced that AI revealed their cosmic destiny. In some cases, users claimed AI validated decisions like abandoning their families and hearing voices in radio waves.
I don't think these people are going crazy. I think it's just opening yourself up to something.
But apparently people are getting like weird visions involved with their AI. It's really creepy.
I mean, even from a psychological standpoint, though, you ever like doom scrolling and then you're thinking, hey, I should go get something, and then it's like the next ad in your feed. You're like, I didn't say that one out loud. Why on earth? I think they've already got our programming so dialed.
Yeah, I mean, I was so creeped out when I asked it to list off everything it thinks it knows about me and how crazy accurate it was, and I don't give it any like personal information about my life.
It learns.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm scared by this technology, but when I was in middle school, I had one of those electronic game things of 20 questions.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, how does it doing
That
this?
was weird.
It's
I
that
guess
type
we're
of stuff.
that
It's
predictable.
deduction. There's got to be levels of reading that it can do that we have no way to understand.
Despite all the pushback, Tesla is not giving up.
This is the all-new 2027 Tesla Cybertruck. That's right, Tesla's already coming out with the second generation. I gotta say, this thing looks 10 times better than the current Cybertruck. It looks like they ditched all the weird angles and they're going with a more traditional pickup truck look, but with that Cybertruck spin to it. This thing looks super clean, way cleaner than any first-gen Cybertruck. And just look at the meats on this thing. Now, I don't know if that's going to be factory or not, but the way this one's set up looks amazing. This one here almost looks like an HD version, like maybe Tesla's hitting the heavy-duty market to compete with the diesels like the Duramax, Powerstroke, and Cummins, except, of course, this one is electric, which means it's going to be way more torquey than any diesel. Hopefully they over-engineered the hitch on this one, unlike the first-gen Cybertruck. I had to throw up the side-by-side, and you guys have to admit, the second generation looks way better than the first. It actually somewhat looks like a normal pickup truck. What do you guys think? Which one would you choose?
You know, Kevin Hart, I used to sell you ecstasy pills. If you watching this shit, we used to have fun. I used to drop you off in front of Diddy house. Don't act funny now that a is on. I'm on this motherfucker. We need a movie, nigga. Oh, used to be in the motherfucking limo, thizzing hard as a mother. Looking stupid. Don't act like you don't know me now. I'm on this shit.
Next time you find a silica gel packet in something you buy, do not toss it out, because there are actually a bunch of practical ways to reuse them. These packets help fight moisture buildup, so I like putting them anywhere that needs to stay dry. They're great additions to gym bags and smelly shoes, and you can add some to your bathroom cabinet to help fight mold. You can add some to your safe to protect important documents, and if they're food safe, you can add them to bulk containers of beans, rice, or oats. I've even heard of people successfully using these to fix their phones that they've dropped in water. And that's only a few ways to repurpose these, so let me know your favorite ways to reuse them in the comments.
What would you say is the difference between like the 80s on the streets and then the 90s on the streets in LA?
Okay, the 80s, you would seldom somebody get shot. In the 80s, if I wanted you, I'd get you. I wouldn't like shoot 4 or 5 of your homies, you know, I'd get you.
Okay.
It was like more like that. It was more direct.
Personal.
Right. In the 70s, if we drive by each other, we'd pull over and it'll just be me and you going heads up. I would tell my homeboys, don't jump in, because if my homeboy jumps in, it's like disrespectful, because it's like I couldn't handle my business. You know, that was the 70s. You know, you had your 22 shotgun, you know, not like the 90s, you got AK and 9mm, you know, 18 rounds, you know.
Yeah.
Back then it was just a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like the 90s was, they just shoot anybody. You know, sometimes they won't even ask you where you're from. They just see you and, oh, you're Mexican, you're rocking down the wrong street, you know, wrong neighborhood. They won't even ask you where you're from. They just shoot you.
There was a ritual in the White Mountains of Arizona. They physically brought like a black stone altar. They trucked this thing in and then carried it into the White Mountain Apache reservation to their high place that's out there. And they brought a huge pig with them. And the man who was the high priest over it came up from Phoenix, Arizona to govern this ritual. He had that brown, charred, soggy skin and feeble, like needing help, but he was the master of ceremonies. As people took their positions and began to initiate that ritual, when they slaughtered the pig on the altar, abuse is happening around it. When he drank the blood of the sacrifice of the person, his complexion came back to life, like he lost 20 years on his life. His skin transformed in front of my face to be that of a much younger man, and his spine stood erect. The joints of his hands were straightened out. That is a vampire.
Lori Lightfoot said at a press conference, I'm not talking to white people. I don't like them. I'm not talking to them. I'm not answering any questions from white reporters.
We can follow up on the decision to grant black and brown journalists the one-on-ones on your 2-year anniversary. Are you implying that white reporters cannot do a fair job of covering you?
What it has to do about is the facts. And the facts is that when I look out at across this podium, as I'm doing now, I don't see much in the way of diversity.
And no one did anything about it. That's the environment that produced Brandon Johnson, where you could just like openly be racist. You know, I don't like Jews, I don't like whites, I don't like blacks. Who talks like that?
Well, Tucker, every university administrator in the United States, even in the face of the Students for Fair Admissions case at Harvard. So that's another project that we're dealing with at the Civil Rights Division, is the absolute extent of the impunity with which campus administrators are continuing to discriminate and openly defy Supreme Court precedents.
Kid Cudi said Diddy was like a Marvel supervillain. He got on the stand and told a wild story. December 2011, 5:30 in the morning, Cassie, who he's secretly dating, calls him and says, Diddy has found out about us. I'm freaked out. Come pick me up. He gets in the Porsche, picks her up, takes her to a hotel. When he gets to the hotel, his assistant calls. Diddy is in your house. He forced his way in. So Cudi's driving back to his house in the Hollywood Hills, and he calls Diddy, and he's like, motherfucker, are you in my house? And Puff says, I am here waiting for you. Like eerie calm, super villain calm. But while Cudi is driving back, Diddy unwraps Christmas presents that Cudi had for his family and locks his dog in the bathroom, traumatizing the dog. Diddy wasn't there when Cudi got back, but a few weeks later, Cudi's Porsche goes up in flames. On the stand, he blamed Diddy. Arson is among the predicate acts in the racketeering charge. Months later, they decide to get together to try to settle the beef. They decide to meet in a hotel, in a meeting room. Diddy is already there when Cudi walks in, and Cudi says on the stand, Diddy is looking out the window calmly with his hands behind his back, looking like a Marvel supervillain. He said Diddy's calmness was very off-putting. At the end of the meeting, Cudi said, so what are we going to do about my car? And Diddy said, what are you talking about? That really bothered Cudi, as you could imagine. This sort of vengeful, retaliatory action is part of what the government wants you to see as part of the coercion and the control and the violence he used to keep Cassie from... I mean, if you're asking, why didn't she just leave after she sees Cudi's car blow up?
10 people control 90% of everything you see, read, and hear in this country. 10 people. And they want to tell you that Cuba has state-run media. 10 people. Who are those 10 people? Well, you can look them up. They're not hard to find. That, in and of itself, is problematic. When you consider that these 10 people all need permission from the U.S. government in order to have licenses, in order to buy other corporations, in order to do all the nefarious things they like to do, then you really understand what state-run media is. If Martin Luther King were alive today and he were in his 20s, nobody would know who he was because he would never get on TV. That's the difference between 2003 and 1953 or 1963. We live in a completely different era where information is more tightly controlled than it has ever been in the history of this country. What that really means is somebody can tell you black is white and night is day, and you will believe it. And not only that, the bigger the lie,
worse now,
the more likely you are to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, they shut a whole country
I'll show you
down.
how time don't exist.
2020.
When you think about the past, when do you think about it? You think about it right now. When you think about the future, when do you think about it? You think about it right now.
Boy.
Where are you right now? In the here and now.
Almost done, baby.
There is no past. There is no future. Those are thoughts. The only thing that actually exists is this present moment.
Oh,
you know, that's like light as a feather.
Right,
but
right.
There's like that thing in our world to where, you know, you'll notice like an empty coffee cup and someone's just like, man, it looks fake. Or they pick up a big bag of like $10 million and they just carry it like nothing.
Right.
So we want some like actual weight in. So these 80s are like actually like 15s.
Really? Let me see. Oh shit. Oh god damn.
So you get a little bit of struggle. They're real popular with like the TikTok like fitness influencers.
crazy, y'all.
For
So
real.
careful who you guys look up to
Everything's
out there.
fake.
Nothing's real.
Everything's fake. So this is what I have at home.
Those ones
to
that
be
don't
honest.
talk.
Oh.
The fact that no one cared that Elon brought those fucking people back from space. The
freaking
guy's
baby.
a fucking hero for that, and any other time in history, the super genius sent a fucking rocket to go rescue the people that were trapped in orbit because NASA couldn't. They couldn't.
And if he'd done it in 2016 when Obama was in there, it would have been fucking great.
It would have been great. And
hit the hell out of my knee.
Could have done it while Biden was in office, but they wouldn't let him do it because politically it would look like a victory for Trump because Elon supports Trump.
Yep.
So they left those people up there.
That's fucking wrong.
It's evil.
Yeah.
It's evil. It shouldn't be a political thing.
96% of the articles about Elon are bad.
96%. Yeah.
You're attacking one of the smartest guys in the country who literally is spending part of his time trying to fucking clean up the government efficiency and waste and corruption and fraud.
The Elon stuff should be like, look what he's done.
We should be championing it.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't like his politics, fine.
Right.
But you loved it before. You loved the green cars and electric cars and shit.
Right.
Until he fucking won the election for Trump, and now he's running Trump, and he's running the government. Look at his kid on Trump's lap, and blah 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 blah.
I think as soon as he got the Twitter files and he found out what the government was doing, he was like, "Whoa!" Imagine you have so much money that you could actually buy a conspiracy. You could find the answer.
Americans earning between $30,000 and $80,000 per year will pay about 15% less in taxes after this legislation is passed. And according to a brand new paper from the White House Council of Economic Advisors, the average family with 2 children's take-home pay will be up to $13,000 higher because of the increase in wages and reductions in tax obligations. The CEA study also said that the average overtime worker receives a tax cut of roughly $2,000. Again, this is great news for our nurses, our police officers, and all those who work overtime to make ends meet across our country. Put simply, President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill will be a boon for working class America. This One Big Beautiful Bill is also pro-family. It will increase the child tax credit to $2,500 per child, establish optional savings account for newborn babies with a $1,000 credit added, and strengthen paid family leave.
The NBA was favoring Kobe. How clear was the message coming from the NBA to the refs?
It was very clear. I'll never forget when Kobe was in a playoff series with the Phoenix Suns, and I forget who the defender was, but they called him the Kobe Stopper, or he referred to himself as the Kobe Stopper. And they would show us video of games previously of plays that fouls weren't called, of this guy holding him or defending him too strongly, and they wanted freedom of.
And if he didn't lock him down, he'd fucking clothesline him. Go look at those highlights from that that playoff series with Rajah Bell and Kobe Bryant. They used to have some battles, y'all.
Movement, because they wanted higher scoring in these games, so they would show you plays and say, this was a foul that was missed, and these 3 referees missed this play. Make sure you don't let this happen tonight. Make sure you call this when this happens. And that's how they would program and train the officials in the next game to have more freedom of movement and have Kobe Bryant have the ability to score more points and do well.
I went there last July.
Did you?
June.
How was it?
Incredible. Yeah, it was incredible.
Did you walk away thinking immediately, there's a lot we don't know?
100%. Yeah. And what they tell you is complete bullshit.
Yeah. I have a friend who went there, and the archaeologist that showed him it said this is complete bullshit. Like, the narrative is complete bullshit. Yeah. He said the scale of it. He said the scale of it and the technology involved in construction is beyond our current understanding of how to do this.
And it's not just the pyramids and the Sphinx. No. The other temples are magnificent.
Not only that, there's probably a bunch of shit under the ground.
I know. That's what I wanted to go see. But the cool thing was the first temple I went in was what I'd seen on Ancient Aliens, where at the very top of the temple you have one of the most famous hieroglyphs, which has a spaceship, a helicopter, and a submarine up there. As clear as you can possibly imagine. And
show that.
What the fuck is that? How in the... What is that? Explain that, please. Because that looks like a spaceship, that looks like a submarine, and that 100% looks like a helicopter.
So weird. Egypt is the weirdest place on earth. It really is. Because
but that's why it needs to be... Yeah. What the hell's underneath it?
Well, I think that one.
That one right there?
Yeah. I mean,
what are we talking about?
Come on. That's so crazy.
That's a spaceship or a fighter jet.
Some kind of a...
That's a submarine.
It looks like a yacht. It looks like one of them oligarch yachts that they keep getting pounded.
Fish, y'all. Pew, pew. Here's a new type of e-cigarette. Like, why? Why do you? I don't get it, y'all. I've never been a smoker, though, so I guess I can't judge. God damn. Help your lady, fool. Jeez. No wonder you're her ex. Putting her on blast. Smoking a cigarette.
When the UFC bought Pride, they thought they were buying a whole organization. They didn't get anything but a video library.
That's all they got?
All the contracts were bullshit. Everything was bullshit. That's why they never got Fedor. The whole thing was all fucked up. It was run by the mob. What was it like being over there?
I remember the first time I noticed that the mob had something to do with Pride. I saw these guys walking down the hallway, nice expensive suits, and then everybody just put their head down, put their back against the wall, and just bow. And then after a while, I asked somebody, like, oh, those are bosses, those are yakas.
Did they have missing fingers?
And some of them did.
Crazy.
Dolphins under the water, but everything under the water is something, and you just don't know what it is. It just
30 more
you.
seconds.
Your dog understand you, but you can't understand it. They ain't never made you think.
That's true, y'all.
Right?
Dog understands you.
Because that bitch been human before. They understand but you don't understand it. So you call it a dog. You treat it like you smack it. You don't treat it like it's human. But that's just more human than you.
Understands you, but you don't understand it. A good little quote right there about a little dog. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. Got a little company down here in his playpen. He woke up. Kind of sleep schedule was off today for him because I took him on a long walk and he falls asleep when he's in his car seat. So he fell asleep on me. So I had to bring him up here and he's out here making noises. He loves his little playpen and grabbing everything in there. So that's it, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. I'm gonna see you guys on Saturday. Like I said again, if you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Weather's finally good out here. It's hot, 100 degrees, but it ain't blowing dust out here no more. So tomorrow, cars are getting washed, y'all. I didn't end up washing the car last time. Oliver said, don't wash it. Just wash it this weekend. Just chill with me and the baby. So that's what I did, y'all. Starting to feel better. It's a good Friday. Hope everyone out there has a good one. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.